Welcome to another episode of Out of the Pods. I'm Deepti.
And I'm Natalie. Guys, I have some juicy Netflix TV show gossip for you. So, Perfect Match Season 2 started filming this week. And I know that because, fun fact, I was actually casting for Season 2 earlier this year. Clearly, I'm on this podcast and not doing the show, but
Woo!
it's definitely something. It's definitely something I considered doing, but it just wasn't a good fit. But it's so weird because Deepti and I were asked to go through the casting process for Perfect Match Season 1 2 years ago now, before our season came out. So I ended up watching the season recently, Perfect Match Season 1, since I started casting for Season 2. And I was imagining like what it would be like if we ended up on that show. Um, it's like a weird feeling, right? Like being
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I wonder, yeah. But honestly, one of the things I did not appreciate about season 1 is the lack of screen time women of color got on that show. Like it was very apparent. And I think we would have been in the same boat. And I really do
Yeah.
hope they change things this year. I really hope that there are like Asian women on the show this year
Yeah.
and
And
men.
also, it was, I'm kind of glad I didn't do it because those challenges, dude, like, there's no way my mom would have approved those challenges. There's no way I would have approved those challenges. You know, I cannot be kissing multiple people on screen
I
all in one
know.
show.
That's what I was thinking about watching it when I saw the challenge where everyone has to kiss each other. I
Yeah.
was like, imagine if we were there. Like, would I have done it? I don't know.
Hey, you were
I don't
considering it
know.
earlier this year.
Yeah.
I'm
So
yeah, I'm selfishly really glad that you didn't do it because I don't want you to be gone that long.
I know. I mean, we have this podcast. Filming would have been like, I think like 4 or 5 weeks. So, but Deep D, who are your perfect match predictions? Like, who do you think is going to be on season 2?
That's a great question. I have a lot of people in mind. I feel like there's going to be a lot of people from season 4 of Love is Blind, but honestly, I would really like to see Zenab and Cole because I feel like the whole cutie situation wasn't really resolved in my head. I don't know. I just want more from them. And also I want both of them to find love. And Dom, like, he's such a sweetheart. Like, I just really, really want him to find love also. And weirdly, you're going to hate me for saying this, but a part of me wished you and Shane could resolve
Oh
some
my
issues.
gosh.
I know. I'm just kidding. That's probably a little aggressive, but that would be, wouldn't that be such good TV to like watch you and Shane together?
We would have been really, really toxic. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think we would have been able to have a healthy conversation on that show. And I don't think we would have ever come to a resolution for, you know, our public spats that have happened within the last like 2 years.
You never know. It could be like a therapy session. You have no idea.
No, not on that show, that's for sure. But my predictions are that Micah and Irina will definitely find their way into the villa.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
Paul, but I know that he recently hard launched his girlfriend on Instagram. But I haven't really seen them posting together much recently. So
No, he
I'm not
posted
sure what
her.
his status is.
No, he actually posted her like today or yesterday. I remember going to see it. He
Oh,
actually did.
interesting.
Yeah. It
Okay.
was like a
Well,
story though. It wasn't like a an in-feed post. So,
then I'm assuming he's not doing Perfect Match season 2, but who knows? And then I think like 1 or 2 people from Love is Blind season 5 is going to be on the show, only because season 5 is coming out in September. So in about a month. And
yeah.
so why wouldn't they, bring people from that season on Perfect Match season 2? I hate admitting this. I ended up meeting someone that I really like, and I just want to see how it would work out. And I'm kind of glad like I didn't have to think about kind of choosing the show over this guy.
Yo, potential love in the air. Wait, are you talking about the New York guy? Like, should we talk about him? Because this is a long distance fling, obviously, right? So let's talk about it.
A long distance fling. Okay, I did not want to talk about it. We
What?
haven't talked about this on the podcast. Actually, I'm going to throw you under the bus too. So we are both in these long distance flings that are very complicated. I've actually been in one before that ended up becoming a relationship. This was like back in my mid 20s. Um, But yeah, it's been really fun. We're just talking. It's fairly new. I really, really like him though. So Deepti was there when I first met him here in Chicago. And I
I
turned
want
to
to
her
be
and I
maid of
was like,
honor. I want to be maid of honor if it works out.
I turned to her and I was like, I'm going to marry this man.
Oh man. Yes, I even took
he's
pictures
really
of
sweet.
you. Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're such a freak. She took like videos of him and I talking.
Well, this is what happened. Like she was on the other side of the bar and like literally saw her talking to him and I'm like I'm going to get some like fun videos and pictures cuz obviously I'm going to troll you later. So I had to.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, but yeah, so he was here in Chicago and we met through a mutual person that we know and then we just kept in touch, which has been really fun. Um it's I don't know. It's tough cuz it's like nothing but it's something. I've never
Yeah.
met someone who shares the same sense of humor as I do, and it's just every time I talk to him over FaceTime, I just feel like really, really good. I don't know how
Yeah.
to explain it.
Yeah.
But it's
But
also like nothing serious. It's a fling.
it is, but like let's talk about long distance. That's a tough one because, as Natalie mentioned, like I met somebody like honestly about a year ago now. And like, when you meet somebody and like you lock eyes and you instantly feel like a connection, but you're like, whoa,
Yeah.
I've never even met you. And then you're waiting. It was like at a party, whatever. And I was like, okay. And you're like making your way to them, but you keep like locking eyes. So it was kind of like that kind of attraction. And I don't know, like we kind of kept in touch. We fell off for a couple months and then randomly like something came up, so we started chatting again, and then ever since then we've been chatting like every single day. And I'm like,
Wow.
whoa, this is kind of odd, but like I don't know, long distance, it's tricky.
I know. I don't want to keep my hopes up. So I'm obviously dating people here in Chicago as well. But like he's impacted the other people I'm dating in that, like I've told you this, I
Yeah.
almost skipped a date because I wanted to FaceTime with the guy
So
from New York.
when you're like on a date, do you think about him and you're like, I can't wait to text him when I get home from a date, like that kind of thing?
Yeah. Or no, I'm pretty present on dates, but towards the end, like when I'm on my way home, I like immediately text him.
Yeah.
Like I want to talk to him. Like I look forward to talking to him often. But for me, I think dating other people is a way to like protect myself and just keep my standards high, like and not
Mm-hmm.
settle for something. Um, and also it was really unexpected in terms of like me liking him so much. Like
Yeah.
I was not expecting it. Like when I met him, I was like, oh, I'm sure we'll like chat for a week and then he'll kind of like fizzle out and we'll go our separate ways. And I'm shocked that we're still talking.
Yeah, I kind of like those unexpected, like little things to happen, because like when you meet somebody, especially if they're like, out of towners, you like expect it to be like, oh, this is a fun thing. But when you keep in touch and it becomes a constant thing, you're like, shit, like, is this about to be something? And you're like, you're so far away and all you want to do is see that person constantly, And it's like, oh man, like, why do you have to be so far
Yeah.
away? But
I know. And so I am seeing him in a couple of weeks with you, actually. We're going to
mhm.
New York together for other reasons,
Yeah.
for other events. And so obviously I'm going to meet up with him there. So we'll just see like how that goes and if anything changes. I I don't know. At this age, at 31, like every relationship that I'm in, like I take so seriously now. I
Mhm.
think the thing about long distance relationships is there's so much uncertainty with them, right? Like when do you have the conversation of like what this is? Um,
Mhm.
what's the end game and what does the end game look like? Like who's moving to whose, home city and when is that going to happen? Like things like that you just don't have to worry about when you're dating someone in the same location as you. And If I was in my like 20s, I feel like I'd be like, I can do this because I have in my 20s.
Mhm.
Um, Now that I want kids in like 3, 4, 5 years, it's just like a whole different story.
Yeah, and I also think, weirdly, like, one thing that Love is Blind has really taught us is to ask those questions, like, fairly quickly anyways. So I don't think that you should wait that long to do it, because if there's a connection, especially when you see him next, I think that that's a conversation that you should have pretty quickly, because like you said, you're not trying to just, like, casually date and see where it goes. You're trying to look for a long-term relationship that turns into a marriage. So I think, the sooner the better, but it's like that awkward thing of like, when do you ask?
Yeah.
Like, when do you ask so what are we question? You know what I mean?
Or like, where is this going? Like, is this
Yeah.
just, are you just looking for a longer term fling? Are we just chatting because like you, it's just like fun to pass the time, like talking to someone? Or like, are you actually looking for something serious? The thing is, I think it's too early to say, even on my end. Like, I don't want to have the conversation because like, I don't know if I'll even like him in, a few more months, like
Yeah.
that type of thing. So
Right.
it's hard to say, but it just makes it really hard when it's like long distance. I think it's
No.
easier to assess when you're like in the same location.
Oh, absolutely. Because obviously you're seeing them constantly. And yes, you're talking to them, but like, talking to them over text or even FaceTime is a little bit different than in person dates or like going out and doing things together. I don't know. I'm just a
Yeah.
very big like energy person. It's like, how do our energies intertwine? That kind of thing. Like, even for me in my situation, it's a little bit different than yours, because we had this like initial attraction, but it wasn't like you guys like actually like kind of like, had
What
like
are you? Excuse
you
me,
like
my
actually
parents listen to this
I was
podcast.
gonna say you guys like kissed and whatever else, whereas we had like an attraction and
Oh
like there was this
my God. Why are
chemistry,
you telling,
but
why are you revealing my business?
all I said was you kissed. But I'm just saying, like, in general, like, it's just I think it's just a little bit different situation for me, because we're like in the talking stage. We're not even
Oh,
like,
yeah.
you know, and he is so busy all the time because he owns his own business, and then he like does music on the side, whatever else. And then for me, obviously, same thing. Like, I could easily get on a plane and go see him, but I haven't made that a priority. So it's like,
Yeah.
it's just like tough. And like, also like, it's weird, like sometimes like he won't text me, and like I'll think about him like, are you on a date? Like, what are you doing?
I know. And
But I have no
it's
right.
you
I have
are
no
saying
right.
anything. Yeah, like you can't even be like mad about it, but it makes you
Yeah.
feel some sort of way. That's what I think
Yeah.
about the guy, that New York guy of like, because obviously I'm dating other people and I'm like, is he dating other women? And it makes me sad thinking about it, but I can't like do anything. It's just like,
No, absolutely not. We'd
it
be
is what it
freaks if
is.
we said something. We're like,
I know.
no. Yeah.
But does it make me self conscious? Yeah. Like I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, is he dating someone else? And, she has like a kind of like a level up because she's like in the same location as him.
Yeah.
And but then I was like, wait, I'm doing the same thing. I think it's just different because like I hope none of the men that I'm dating are listening to this. I doubt they are. But it's just different because I think like he is so above like in my mind the men that I'm dating currently in terms of like where my feelings are, that I don't know.
Yeah,
Like
he's kind of like priority number one, or like number one on the
yeah,
roster
he's like
right
number
now.
one on the roster.
Yeah.
I think like the other guys are more like as a way for me to not get too
Attached.
um attached or like or bought
Mhm.
into this thing that isn't defined yet.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I think you definitely have to keep an open mind, because again, you have to continue dating and like see how it goes, because
Yeah.
yeah, long distance is just like not fun. And like, okay, can I ask you, what is your love language? Like, is it physical touch? Is it quality
The way
time? You know?
So actually no. The way I show love is through acts of service, and the way I like to receive love is like physical touch, physical affection, which is weird because I hate touching, but I love the moments where it happens.
Well,
I
the
don't
New
know.
York dude doesn't stand a chance here considering you need physical touch. I'm dead. Yeah, for me, it's very much quality time and acts of service, I think. And that's really hard to do when you're so far away.
Yeah.
Maybe I should book a flight and go see him.
No, I was going to say, wait, so you have not like, you haven't kissed
No, we
your guy
couldn't.
yet.
No, because we were in like such a public place with like a lot of people that we knew. And so like there was definitely, and then we went out after and like we were talking all night long. So I knew it was going to be something. And then obviously we exchanged numbers and then like we talked for a while after that. But then, I went on some dates, did some things. I'm sure like we kind of just fell off a little bit. And then recently, in the last few months, it's been
You
like a
reconnected?
constant. Yeah. And I really wish, oh man, why does this always happen? Like it's always like right there, but it's like unattainable. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, it's so hard.
Well, I feel like he should either get on a flight and come see you or like you should go see him. Is that weird as like the next
No,
step?
no, that is our next step. So that's kind of what we've been planning. We're planning because there's like some downtime coming for both of us.
Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully we'll see. We'll see what happens. Hope
I
my mom's not
know.
listening.
It's honestly, it's so tough though, like long distance flings. Like I hate the position I'm in right now where I really like someone, but there's so much uncertainty with it. While like the men that I'm dating here in Chicago, like I could see a better future of like, oh, like you want to be here long term? I'm going to be in Chicago long term. Like this is, I don't know, it's
Yeah.
like it's easier to kind of like move those relationships forward. So,
Well, can I
yeah,
ask you
I don't
something?
know.
Can I ask you
What?
something? Like, let's say, like a month or two from now, you and New York dude make it official. Do you
We're not
think
going to make
that?
it official a month from now.
I don't know. I'm just like throwing a random scenario out there. Say that you do. Do you think that you can make a long distance relationship work, even in the short term?
So here's my thing. I feel like no, because I've been in one before and it ended because in my previous long distance relationship, we just weren't willing to move to the same location. Like he's like, will you move here? And I was like, no. And I was like, will you move here? And he's like, no. And it's like, what do you do? Like someone has to compromise. And so I don't know in that situation where maybe like something was telling me like this isn't my person, so I'm not going to move for them,
Yeah.
or if we were just kind of like selfish or we're just people who don't compromise well, because you know me, like I
Yeah.
definitely don't compromise well.
No.
Like I can be very strong-headed and I kind of want things my
Mhm.
way type of thing. And so,
Mhm.
like in this situation too, like I've never asked him, would you ever move to Chicago? But I don't think I would ever move to New York or the East Coast where he's originally from. Because like my entire family's here in Chicago. I already lived in Boston. On the East Coast, and I had a lot of fun. I also lived in San Francisco and Atlanta, but I already did like I already had that moment of living in different cities and I like love Chicago. I love that my friends and family are here. So
But
yeah.
sometimes I feel like if the person is worth it and if you want to make the relationship work and there's love there, I feel like sometimes you have to compromise. And like you could do
Or
bi-coastal or not bi-coastal, but you can do like, two homes, like one here in Chicago, one in New York, and you kind of like split your time. I'm a firm believer in that. Like why stay in one location forever? Why not just have multiple places that you can go?
you know what's so funny is he told me last week that he hates traveling. So and I was like, same. So I don't think it
Shit.
would
This
actually
is a
work out.
disaster.
um I don't know. Or what I was trying to say is like, or the other way is like finding someone based here in Chicago where I know like location and long distance won't be an issue.
Yeah, but you know what I think about often? What if my person doesn't live in Chicago? There is,
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking
like,
too.
what are we supposed to do? You have to be open and flexible and like just go with
Yeah,
the flow?
because I really have not felt closeness with anyone like I have with him. Obviously, I've been in a lot of complicated relationships since Love is Blind. And he's like the first person where I'm like, wow, like um, just everything feels very easy. It's the first person that like I've met that shares the same sense of humor with me and like really makes me laugh. And so,
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know, like, but also I'm at an age where I was like, I want like certainty and I have like an understanding of what I want my future to look like. And I'm kind of like dead set on Chicago.
Yeah. Yeah.
Watch me like move to New York in a year and be like, bye.
Exactly. Exactly. I mean, I've met him and I really like him for you because I do
Yeah.
see how you guys are so similar and like compatible. That's so weird to say considering I've only seen him once, but I don't know. It's weird, but like, yeah, I think you need to have like an open mind when it comes to it if you want it to go somewhere. Otherwise, you're wasting your
Yeah.
time. You know?
Would you ever move to Canada where your guy is at?
I was not going to tell people the location, Natty.
Well,
Lights.
you literally revealed where my guy is based and also that I kissed him. So if I'm gonna do it, you're gonna do it too.
God. Yeah, I would consider it because again, like I said, I'm so open to I don't know, compromising a little bit. I'm so easygoing. And I feel like I could absolutely easily split my time. No
Oh, so
problem.
you would do like a split time type of thing.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's not like Chicago needs me the whole week. I could do a
I
couple days
do.
here, a couple days here.
I need you.
I'll be I'll be here for you. Trust me, the amount we talk, we will be FaceTiming all the time. You guys literally anytime me and Natalie get on a phone call, it is at least an hour, hour and a half long. Minimum. That is minimum.
I know. You are
And I live
probably
upstairs.
the
I mean, she lives upstairs. It's like wild.
I talk to you the most out of anyone in my
Yeah,
life. You are like
exactly.
my boyfriend.
No, literally.
If
You are
there's
my
anything
support.
stopping me from getting into a relationship with that New York guy, it's you.
Damn, I'm sorry. Maybe it'll be good for us to split our time. That's so
Maybe it's good that
funny.
we live in different like cities. Maybe I should move to New York.
I think it would be really cool. Like well, you know me, I'll come visit you any day. I'll get on I love to travel, unlike your New York dude. Are you kidding me?
Well, I feel like we do so much work in New York anyway. So I'm like,
Yeah.
maybe, I'll see him more often than I think I would. But, anyways, can you guys let us know? And when I say you guys, our listeners, let us know if we're being ridiculous with our long distance flings or if there's actually potential here because
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm kind of leaning on like I really, really like him.
Yeah. Or
But
also
I don't know.
send us your long distance relationship stories. Were they like
Ooh,
did they turn out
yeah.
good? Were they bad? Should we stray away? Like give us some insights.
That's how I'm going to make my decision. If I see enough success stories, I'll be like, okay, like I am going to see where this goes. But if I don't and everything crashed and burned, then I'm out. I'm blocking
Also,
his number.
can I just say, like randomly, I feel like you and I do value our alone time. And
Yeah.
like we appreciate that. And like as long as there's trust and there's, I don't know, communication, like good communication between our partners, I feel like we could make long distance work. Like us in general, like with our personalities and how we do life, you know? Don't you agree?
Yeah. If we're willing to move or if they're
I
willing
mean,
to
like,
move, then yeah.
eventually, like a long term plan to move. But if in the interim we have to do this long distance thing to make it work, eventually live together, you know what I mean? Like, I think we could manage that. But you know, my heart's
I
still
don't think he even
open.
knows that I have IBS yet.
Oh no.
I
Ah,
feel like
that's
that's something
fine.
you need to like experience live with me where I like run to the bathroom at dinner or something. And like you can't really do that on FaceTime.
Wasn't your Love is Blind prompt like, hi, I'm Natalie and I have IBS? Whoa.
I think during like the Love is Blind interviews, they asked, what would you like to tell your like future fiance or husband? I'd be like, well, I tell him that I have IBS and I go to the bathroom 5 times a day.
That
And
should have
people
been the
were like,
first thing you should have
what the
told him.
fuck?
I
They're
said,
like,
what
did
the
they?
fuck when I read that? I was like, what the fuck?
I didn't actually think they were going to put it in because I go, oh, like just cut this, blah, blah. And when that came out, I was like, what the actual fuck?
That was our like cast review. And it was, I'm Natalie.
I know.
And
I was
would
like,
tell him,
oh my God.
yes.
And I was like, I can't believe they actually left that in. I was like, are they crazy? I was so nervous for my edit after that came out. I was like, I'm so fucked.
No, you're unhinged. That's what you are.
I know. And I was like, oh my God, are they going to put in scenes where I'm like running to the bathroom like during my pod dates or like I accidentally like pooped my pants somewhere? I don't know. I'm just kidding. I never pooped my pants during filming. Be crazy.
I was like, do they have that content?
No, but they did put in scenes a lot about like Shane. I think Shane called me Montezuma Revenge Lady. So if you guys don't know what that is, Montezuma Revenge means it's traveler diarrhea, like when you go abroad.
Okay. Interesting.
So,
what is that? What?
And it made it on TV where we're having lunch with his mom and he's all like, okay, Montezuma Revenge Lady. I was like,
it's so red.
I was like, oh my God.
Dude, his mom was like, what is that?
I think she goes like, oh my God, but I don't think she knew like what it meant. It's because when we were in Mexico, guys, I got traveler's diarrhea really bad.
Did you open your mouth in the shower?
Yeah. I accidentally drank the shower in Mexico. No, I didn't drink the shower. I drank the water coming out of from the shower. And yeah, I was really sick, and obviously like it's so crazy because it was when Shane and I like, you know, officially had to spend the first night together, and I was like running to the bathroom, and I was like, please, I was like, can you turn the TV up or play loud music, because like I was like, I'm gonna go, like I'm gonna fucking go. And he's like, oh, okay.
Dude, that is the hardest part about like new relationships is when you have to go to the bathroom and like, oh yeah, I hate that. I'm like, as soon as they leave, I'm like, gotta go, run to the bathroom.
Honestly, I don't really care anymore, but like I'll make a joke out of it and be like, oh, like you're gonna have to turn the music up or the TV on, like if I use a guy's bathroom so that they know.
Or you like turn on the water faucet, like the sink water, and then
but I'll acknowledge it. Like I'll be like, hey, you're gonna hear the shower and the faucet go off in the bathroom, and you're not walking in there after I leave. So
like when you first are dating somebody and you travel with them, like, and you're staying in this small hotel room or something, like I always will turn the shower. I'm like, I'm just gonna take a quick shower. I'll do it when I shower.
You poop in the shower?
No, dumb. No, I will go. I will actually like poop right before the shower and then go shower, be like, oh, I gotta go shower, but then I'll do it all at once. So like he's like, oh, she was just showering.
That's like probably the smart way to do it. For me, I just acknowledge it. I was like, hey, I'm gonna poop. Do you mind leaving the hotel room?
Do you mind leaving the hotel room?
Yeah. And I'd be like, it's gonna be really bad. Or like, can you turn the TV on to like the highest volume? Because I was like, I don't want you to hear anything. I just have to address it. Like I have to just let them know.
Yeah, that's smart. Like, yeah, I just always have a portable speaker. I always have my Sonos speaker on me. So I'll just, you know, I'm like, I'm going to shower. I'm going to turn the music on, because who doesn't listen to music when they shower? And you're good. You're golden.
Okay, well, anyways, enough about poop.
Oh, yeah.
We spent 10 minutes talking about this.
My bad. It's important, okay? In a new relationship, it's important how you navigate.
It totally is. Okay, but speaking about like long distance flings and our guys and everything, would you ever, like if it ever got serious, would you ever like share it with your audience on social media? Like I'm like, where is the point of like where you share that you're in a relationship? Because quite honestly, when I saw Bartise shared on social media that he had a girlfriend, there were some really, really mean comments on Instagram about it. Like people were saying like, ew, she's so ugly. Like, I can't believe he didn't like Nancy because his new girlfriend, like it was like really, really bad. And I was like, I couldn't imagine like my partner going through that.
Yeah, that's terrible. First of all, she is so gorgeous. Please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think people were
Okay.
just being assholes,
Yeah,
honestly.
as they are. The internet, it has so many trolls. What can you do? It's the internet. But that's a great question because I always said that I'm not gonna like hard launch my boyfriend until he becomes my fiance. But I've actually geared away from that mindset now because when you like get into a new relationship, you're so excited to share. I think I won't do it then, but once it starts to get serious and we have those conversations about it leading to a marriage eventually, I think that's
Yeah.
when I would. That's so hard because I mean, you and I have both experienced public relationships, and they are not an easy walk in the park. Let me tell
No, that's what I
you.
was going to say. I mean, like,
Mhm.
I talked about this in one of our previous episodes when we talk about like dating as reality TV show stars. I dated another reality TV show star
Mhm.
privately, and I like thought about that. Like, if I shared it publicly, like, does it open us up to have like people just having so many opinions on it,
Of course.
and then we're sharing all parts of our life. So
Yeah.
in that case, like I'm glad I didn't. But also I think about my relationship with Shane and how like our attempts at getting back together after the show and our like kind of our like our explosive breakup pretty much um post show, that just playing publicly was really really hard. And
Mhm.
partly like we were to blame, like we were sharing like pieces of us being together on social media, because we were really excited about like, hey, maybe we can actually give this another shot. And then you
Yeah.
know but then when things don't go well or things explode, like everyone has an opinion on it because you've already shared pieces of your relationship publicly. And obviously, our relationship also played on Love is Blind.
Yeah. Yeah. And so it's kind of in a different boat, but like if we started dating somebody that is not in the public eye, I think we have to handle it. I mean, for me personally, I think I would handle it a little bit differently, only because I want to protect him in a way and make
Yeah.
sure that he's comfortable. But like the same thing with Kyle and I when we were like there was all these dating rumors, and that was really tough because yeah, we were also showing little snippets of us hanging out. We do TikToks, whatever, right? So there's a lot of buzz around it. And that was a really hard thing to go through because people were rooting for us so much. So like I wanted that relationship to work so badly, but we were just not compatible. Like we were not right for each other whatsoever. And I think the hardest part is after we broke up and he announced his new girlfriend and now fiance. That was the hardest part because like people were tagging me, they were sending me DMs when it was happening, and it was like people saying, "Oh my gosh, like this new person is such an upgrade from Deepti," or this person's a Deepti dupe, which I don't think we look alike whatsoever. But and then also like, oh, you'll never find somebody like DP. I don't know. There's just all levels of comments, and it sucks because it's not even my relationship, and we have not even been together for a while now, and I'm trying to move on and heal, whatever. And then it comes like it rips like a band-aid and opens that wound. And I'm
Yeah.
just like, man, like that's the negative part about relationships, like public relationships.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's tough because there's this balance between like wanting to share your relationship because
Mhm.
it's, our personal social media at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Even though it's also like there's like this business aspect and the way you interact with your audience, but it's also like how we share updates with our friends and family,
Yeah.
even though we have now an influx of followers. But then
Mm.
on the other hand, it's like, what do you keep private? Because there is some sort of boundary. Like it's really hard when so many people are bought into like a new person you're dating,
Yes.
and feel like they can have an opinion on it because you've already shared them on your social media. It opens them up to a public having an opinion on them. Like I think about, what Caitlin Bristow and Jason Tardik, what
Yes.
they're going through. So, for our Bachelor fans out there, we're talking about Caitlin Bristow. She was a former Bachelorette, and she was engaged to Jason Tardik, who was not on Caitlin's season of The Bachelorette. He was on another person's season, I think Becca.
Mhm.
Um, so they announced their breakup last week via Instagram. They were together for 4 years. They met on Caitlyn's podcast Off the Vine in 2018, and they had a pretty public relationship. Like, I remember Jason asked Caitlyn out on a date on her podcast. They also shared their biggest relationship moments on social media. Like, I think that they shared like details of their first or second date on their Instagram stories at the time.
Mhm.
So tons of their fans and their audience have been invested in their relationship. And so when they announced their breakup, and like Caitlyn, and Jason posted this like joint statement on Instagram, but also they would, Caitlyn particularly would post, picture of her teary-eyed on her Instagram stories, telling people to like cool it with their comments and DMs. I think that there was this backlash of like, hello, you shared so much of your relationship with us for the world to see, and now you're telling us that we can't have an opinion on it. And I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
like where's that line? Like,
Yeah. That's a really tough one because it's crazy. Like, I did Caitlin's podcast last year, and I haven't met her in real life, but I have met Jason. So not that I know them so personally, but I was bought into their relationship too. Like, I loved seeing their dogs. I think like Pino and Ramen were their names, and like it was just so cute. Like, I was like really rooting for them. So like I can kind of like, I'm kind of on the public side, but I'm also on Caitlyn and Jason's side because we see both perspectives,
yeah,
right? Yeah. And I think the hard part is, you're right. Like, where do you draw the line? The one thing I'll say is that the public and people on the internet will always have an opinion no matter what. I think the responsibility lies within each of us to make the decision of when to like step back from social media and stop consuming all those comments and like heal, I think, which is what Caitlyn is doing. But like, also not expect people not to have an opinion no matter what you do. And if it's public, people are going to have an opinion. That's just how the internet game works when you're in the public eye.
yeah. It's so
Yeah.
crazy because we're not celebrities by any means.
No, no.
And so
Yeah.
it's weird being like, well, public figures and public eye, but we also do have like an audience, obviously, our
Mhm.
amazing community of listeners like you guys who are listening to this podcast, but also people who follow us on social media. So yeah, I mean, I was thinking about that too, of like, I saw Caitlyn's stories telling everyone to like, I think she said like, you're scaring me with your DMs and comments. Like, she was talking to her audience
Yeah.
when it came to like comments being made about her relationship. But I was like, how can you not have expected that when you are sharing so much about your breakup, like posting a picture of you crying?
Hmm. Yeah.
Like, I don't
Because people
know.
are
And
concerned.
we're not
Yeah.
like trying to like, we're not trying to criticize her by any means. I think like we're also trying to understand like, where is that balance? Like,
Hmm.
should it be an expectation that people are respectful towards you as you're going through a breakup? But again, we know how social media can be. It's a very
Yeah.
scary place.
Right.
So
If
like, can you
anything,
really
yeah.
tell fans to cool it when you're the one putting so much out there about your
Yeah.
relationship, knowing that people are going to react to it?
Yeah. Yeah. It's a hard space to be in because I'm sure like emotions are so high. But you know what's one thing that's like very frustrating that I did notice on like, I don't know, all these like, because of course a lot of news coverage has come from this split, but it was really frustrating to see in the comments how much people attack women when there's a breakup that happens. I was seeing things like they're saying, oh, she's a lesbian, or she must have driven him away, or she's focusing on her career instead of like relationship or family. And it's so like women, like they're blaming women for the breakup and like just giving men like kind of the pass, I guess. I don't know, it was just kind of disheartening to see that. And it's like, everyone needs to like just cool it with the opinions, you know what I mean, in that respect. Like, you don't know what happened. Stop like
Yeah.
interpreting, or like stop assuming things when you have no clue what's going on. That's like the one part that was like kind of frustrating to me. But yeah, I don't
100%. I
know.
agree. And that lesbian comment came from the fact that Caitlyn has publicly stated that she is bisexual. So,
Right. Hmm.
um, Yeah, it
It's a tough
sucks because I
balance.
think my personal opinion on everything is that why do these assholes on social media exist where you are like DMing her mean things, knowing she's going through a breakup, or leaving shitty comments like saying, oh, she's to blame. Oh, like,
Yeah.
like I never saw this relationship, actually working out. Yeah, you are fucking heartless if you leave those type of comments. Can I just put it out there? Like, if anyone is
Mhm.
listening and you have left that sort of comment, like, you suck.
Yeah. Please be
But
mindful of the comments that you leave. Please. Like,
at the same time, it's like, I don't want to say it's like like it's expected. It shouldn't be normal, but we know that you need to expect those comments when
yeah.
you also put your relationship out there. But
Mhm.
I do think that it's not okay when, yeah, like I think she has the right to tell people, like, hey, like, stop with your comments and DMs. I think it's just like this weird line of like, is it kind of expected because she put so much out there about a relationship? Not saying that it's right by any means, but
Yeah.
it is like it is this balance. But yeah, with just seeing everything, like we talked about the comments about Bartisa's new girlfriend, how mean those have been,
Yeah.
and this whole, the Caitlyn and Jason breakup and kind of what we've went through. I think for me, I don't think I would ever share my boyfriend or like really deep details about my relationship. Like I try to keep those to a minimum if I could,
Yeah.
because I just don't want the public to have opinions on them, or like my
Yeah.
audience to have opinions on my relationships. Obviously we shared like our long distance flings here on this podcast, but I think if those ever became serious, I think I'd probably reel it in more.
Yeah. Yeah, I think, it's hard not to share what's going on in life, especially since we have this podcast, whatever else. So I think like, yeah, like you said, you have to find the right balance. And also I think it's like very, very dependent on the person that you're with, because some people very much like to be private and,
Mm-hmm.
keep things to themselves. And if that's the case, I think I would respect my significant other. But on the other hand, if my person is like, I'm okay with it, I'm cool. Once it gets serious, I think I am willing to share some things. Um, but again, yes, you're right. Like that means that I'm putting myself in a position where I'm going to attract opinions. I'm going to attract comments. And yeah, I think, you know what? I got to get a boyfriend first before I even think about this. So I need to be in that
Yeah.
space. For now, it's Natalie. Natalie is the boyfriend.
I know you're my boyfriend. Um
And
You really are, now that I think about
no,
it. I
no.
was like, why do I talk to you so much? You and Ayana are probably like make up 90% of my time.
90%. Yeah. My other friends are like, where you been?
I know, same,
Natalie's.
literally.
But
But
yeah.
anyways, well, thanks for throwing me under the bus on this
Oh,
episode.
you
It's
threw me under the
been
bus too. Hey, like you say all the time, you win some, you
just
lose some.
you win some, you lose some.
Anyways, that was our episode today. Let us know what your thoughts are on public relationships. Also, give us your stories on a long distance flings. Like, do they work? Do they not? Like, I know you guys have some juicy stories, but send those to our Instagram page at Out of the Pods.
And make sure you leave a review and subscribe. See you next Monday.
Bye.